Welcome, friends, to 100 Huntley Street. We're celebrating a mother's love as Mother's Day is around the corner, coming up on Sunday. Laura, so good to have you here.
Oh, I'm so thankful. Enoch, what a gift to be together this week, celebrating mothers and a mother's love and all the journeys of motherhood. I love seeing Mother's Day through my boys' eyes, and they try so hard to make it special. Actually, the other day, Jacob said to me, "I've made you breakfast 5 times," and he listed every Mother's Day, and it was so sweet. Now, they like to do a craft or two, and I brought some in.
Those look good, though. They look good.
I don't know. No, that's because he's got daughters, and they're probably really perfect and beautiful, right?
Oh, we get everything,
Do you
too.
get everything?
We get everything.
Okay,
Lots
right.
of it, too.
Lots of it. Well, yes, this is from the younger years. This one's from high school. They're the red flowers, so that was getting a bit more. But this is very limited. I have about 8 crafts from them.
There you go.
Like, this is not what they want to do. But my favorite thing to do with them is to go on a hike on Mother's Day. Like, I'm just like, go outside with me, guys. Let's do whatever. And they can't say no because it's Mother's Day.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
And it's the spending the time that matters, right?
Yes.
It's not necessarily about the money that's spent. It's not how fancy it is. It's about the time that is spent. And Laura, this week, as we come to celebrate Mother's Day, all of Canada, millions of people in Canada will be spending a lot of money, probably over $500 million for Mother's Day. But we will have great opportunities to showcase different options, inexpensive options, to show your love to the mothers in your life.
That's right. So yes, they are saying $500 million will be spent. I can't even believe it. I was thinking all the moms in Canada are probably like, use that money to help people. I don't need chocolates or flowers, but maybe not. Maybe I shouldn't speak for everyone. Maybe not everyone wants a hike. And then, later in the program, I'm so excited because we're going to be showing some inexpensive options for how we can make some gifts for moms. And what I'm really thrilled about today, though, is I get the honor of interviewing your beautiful and one-of-a-kind wife, Jessica Muamba.
Yes. I'm excited for it myself. I can't wait to listen to your conversation. And she's amazing. That's why I married her. But she's amazing, and she's going to be sharing her story, her journey. She lost her mother during COVID. But the way that she's been navigating through grief as a mother, as a friend, as a wife has been absolutely nothing short of inspiring for myself and plenty of her friends as well. So it's going to be an interesting conversation. I can't wait to hear it as well.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. And, her work around mental health advocacy with CAMH is also something that we're going to be touching on. There is so much in this program, so much inspiration, and we don't want you to miss a moment. So stay with us.
All this week on 100 Huntley Street, encouragement for moms. Real stories of struggle, healing, and strength. Find hope and inspiration for the journey you're on. You won't want to miss it.
She's a motivational speaker and CAMH mental health advocate, known for bringing joy to thousands on social media through her Mama Africa videos. But behind the inspiration is a story of deep loss and resilient faith. After losing her mother to COVID-19, Jessica Muamba has learned what it means to be held by Jesus in the middle of grief. And today, she's helping others walk through loss and life's challenges with hope. Jessica, welcome to 100 Huntley Street.
Thank you so much for having me again.
Yeah.
It is such a pleasure to be here, and especially during this week's theme and celebrating mothers.
Thank you so much for joining us for this week and just for being willing to talk about your mom and your story with your mom. It's a very tender story, and she raised you, such an incredible woman of God. You grew up in a Christian home.
Yes.
And when you were 13, you made a decision to follow Jesus for yourself. Can you tell us about that moment?
Oh, well, our church had a retreat for youth at the time, and we would go to like a cottage, no phones, no distractions, and really learn what it meant. Because we were all, I think, church kids who grew up in the faith, but truly learn what it meant to have a relationship with Jesus. So by the time we were 13, my mom strategically did it right before we entered high school. She said, you will go and you will learn about Jesus before you start high school. So we went to the cottage, and it was transformational. We really learned about what it means to be set apart, being in this world but not of this world. And truthfully, we came back all empowered. I accepted Christ as my Lord and personal Savior with conscientiousness and with full autonomy, knowing what that decision meant. And it really changed the trajectory of how I entered high school and how I viewed life from a very young age.
And what did your faith look like day to day throughout your adolescence and into your early 20s?
Oh, day to day, it looks like realizing I was set apart, that I couldn't do what everybody else was doing. And funny enough, my mom instilled that in us, even separate, like outside of faith, that, hey, you are my children. It's not what everybody does, you do. If everybody is running off a hill, you don't go with them. So we already knew as her children that we can't do what everybody else is doing. So I lived that out by sort of being okay, being different, not following cultural norms, standing out. I remember my nickname in high school was Church Girl because I went to youth church every Saturday. I was always trying to invite somebody with me. And I was about Jesus and my books, and people knew that. And I think at first it was like, oh my goodness, I'm so different. But then I was very proud to be identified with such a powerful identity. And as I grew, I found more and more people who even at the time did not seek out a relationship with Christ come to me in adulthood and realize, hey, I can't do this life without him. And I know that you have been pretty consistent throughout. How do I even get started in this? So that has been beautiful to see. We learned how to do proper Bible devotion. So I was looking for a rhema word and I was looking for a message. And I remember studying the Bible like I would study my books at the tender age of like 13 and loving my morning devotion time, not realizing when I grew up and became a mom that silent time would come far and few between.
That's right. I like that little fast forward there because today you are the mom of 3 girls.
Yes.
So 3 girls under 8?
3 girls under 8.
Oh, that's a busy house.
It's so busy.
Yes.
Busy and very clean. It's very clean and organized.
Is that true? Oh, every mom out there is like, oh, no.
Complete sarcasm.
Okay. I'm feeling better here. I'm feeling better. That's good. And you're married to the love of your life, Enoch Muamba. So he's been guest co-hosting with us this week. And,
yes.
And you guys have been on the program together.
Absolutely.
You guys have lived out your faith in the public eye while Enoch was a professional football player in both the NFL and CFL.
Yes.
And that is an incredible journey that you guys have had together. Everything was really rolling along for you, actually. But, you know, as you moved into 2020, things started to shift dramatically.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Are you comfortable sharing about what happened as the pandemic hit?
Yes. Thank you so much for even confirming, Laura. But yes, I am comfortable. And that was when my mom became sick with COVID. So we were riding a high of Enoch being nominated and winning Most Outstanding Canadian for that season. We went to Alberta with our daughter for Grey Cup. It was amazing. And you know what? It was strange. I had this feeling of, oh my goodness, life is going so good. Like, I wonder if something is going to offset this. I had that little bit of antsiness. I don't know. And, but I didn't think too much of it. And in 2020, COVID hit, and you never ever think that you or a family member or somebody you love will become one of the statistics. My mom contracted COVID. She became very sick very quickly. Within 11 days of admitting her to the hospital, she lost her life in the ICU. And that was absolutely devastating because I was also pregnant with my second, at that time our second, who mom had been praying for so many months and very much vocal about wanting to have another grandchild. So it almost felt like a blessing that was offset with something so tragic. And I didn't really know how to reconcile both. In the beginning, I was very confused because, as you were saying, I grew up in faith. And what I took from faith is that if you live your life a certain way, that you are absolved from facing some of these difficult circumstances. But I misinterpreted that, actually. And in that time, I really had to seek out what faith meant, as Apostle Paul said, with little or with plenty, and really search for contentment. I remember reading about King David when King David lost his baby, and how he fasted, he wept, everything. But when the baby was gone, he rejoiced because he knew that it was the good and perfect will of God. And so I think in that period, I learned that, you know, oftentimes when we have blessings, we never question, why me, when we're receiving all these amazing things? And then it's only with loss or difficult circumstance that we say, why me? But it's really, why not me? Because the apostles have all told us, the New Testament testifies that in this life we will have troubles, but we should rest assured because we know where our faith lies and who we can go to console, to be consoled. So it was an extremely difficult period, but I've never dug deeper into my faith than that at that time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how did, as you dug into your faith there, how did you, I know that you were probably praying and believing for your mom's healing. Mm-hmm. So how did you journey through and reconcile the fact that, you know, there's a good God, we have a good God who loves us, but he's saying no on this side of eternity. Like, what was that journey like for you?
It was extremely difficult. I felt that it was unfair. I felt like I was cheated out of experiencing my mother, especially during the early years of motherhood for me. I saw with our firstborn how helpful she was and what a great grandma she was and how supportive she was. I always say that Enoch and I weren't really parents before mom passed, because mom took care of our firstborn like it was hers. She would say, like, come, let me feed the baby, let me bath the baby. This is my baby. This is Jessica Jr. Like, that was what she called our oldest for the longest time. So she was extremely involved, and I didn't know how we were going to do it without her. I also always just imagined my mom living till 90 and 100. I remember praying prayers. In fact, I remember having a conversation with a patient because I'm also a healthcare professional, and we were just talking about fears. And I said, yeah, one of my greatest fears is losing my mom. I said that about 2 months before COVID and losing her. And I felt like I was really wrestling with God. I had a lot of tough questions that I didn't have answers to. But I never ever felt that he was absent from me. I felt that even in the questioning, the anger, the frustration, the uncertainty, the deep, deep sorrow, that he never left my side. And as the posture of my heart changed, I began to realize that it is not so much what happens to us that God is concerned with, but the posture it creates in our heart, our character, the molding, who we become in the journey and in the questioning and despite the frustration. And I began to look at life in a completely different way. I began to embrace the difficult season and know that it was in fact a season. Just like the valleys are seasons, so are the mountaintops, and it all leads to the totality of this walk that we are all in.
Yeah. And Jess, like, as you were experiencing that season where you were losing your mom, and even the days in hospital, were you able to see her? Were you able to go visit her? COVID was so rampant at the time, and they were so confused about how to keep it contained. And it was during the very early period, so June 2020. So the only time I was able to see her was when I admitted her. And after that, when they told me that essentially they've done all that they could and she would likely be passing away within a few hours. And so I remember going in like a full suit gown, full PPE protective equipment and gloves, and just feeling like it felt so cold to be saying goodbye to a loved one like this, like basically in what I felt was like a spacesuit. And I think that's a heavy burden a lot of people who lost family members in COVID carry. We didn't get a lot of the closure that individuals were typically afforded during that period. We simply weren't allowed to. So in her last days, I would have loved to be the one caring for her, being by her side, bathing her, lotioning her, combing her hair when she was in the ventilated induced coma. And I couldn't do any of that. I had to instead leave it to the healthcare professionals and Zoom her every day. And she was even unresponsive during the Zoom calls. So my solace at the time
was that the baby that she prayed for, I got to tell her before her heart stopped that I was pregnant with her. And so as one life was leaving, another life was entering the world. And I saw God in that, very much so.
Yeah. Jess, the whole journey of experiencing the loss of your mom, who had such a huge impact on your life and has a huge impact on your life today, the journey of grief while you're raising little girls, and you're trying to be a strong mom for them. Where would you say your grief journey is now? What does that look like, and how has Jesus met you in it today?
Oh my goodness. I think this Easter summed it up very well, because this Easter I was very immersed in the resurrecting power of Christ. And I literally saw Christ lift me up in my absolute lowest of despair and bring joy back and bring laughter back and bring restoration back. There was so much to grieve at that time, because with physical loss of a loved one, you also grieve relational loss of other loved ones. It's such a dynamic shift within families that it isn't often discussed. So I was grieving quite a bit. And then one day I was speaking with Enoch, and I'm like, remember when Mom used to say such and such? And remember when she would say, oh, do this, and call Thea Jessica Jr. and all this stuff? Man, and we would laugh and laugh. And that was the first time in the midst of I call it the haze of grief, because you really feel like it's a haze. You can't really think or see clearly, that I was smiling and I was actually joyous. And so I use that to create a character, a social media character that I entitled Mama Africa. And it was really in support of my husband, because he was like, oh, you have to post this. And I was like, no, this is just for jokes. No, the world can't know that I'm crazy. Ditto. Just
right?
kidding. And so it was really after my husband kept pushing and pushing. I said, you know what? I'm going to post it. And I did. And I could not believe how many people related to it, how many people it reminded them of their late mom who had passed, how many people who were encouraged that I could create laughter out of that sorrow, and how many people, even of different cultures, could relate to Mama Africa. I got comments from people all over the world, like, I didn't know my mom was an African mother this entire time. And that has been such a pivotal part of my grief journey, is the reframing of how I saw that entire situation and how I keep her memory alive through joy and through faith, because that's truly who she was. Like, when I was crying and I didn't feel like getting up, I know my mom was in heaven, like, Jessica, get up. You have to go and take care of your kids. You can't stay there forever. Yeah. And I really embodied who I know she wanted me to be in this season, recovering from her loss. And I knew she saw this strength in me all along. So I'm glad that I finally saw it in myself.
Yeah. And I love your Mama Africa videos, because I watch them on Instagram, and I feel like I get to know who your mom was personality-wise. But you're right, it's a whole revelation of like what an African mom would be like, and a woman of incredible faith. So all the layers of who your mom is, and it's so phenomenal. Jess, it's incredible that you've turned such sorrow into something that is now so joyful, and also very thoughtful and hope-filled. For that viewer watching right now who may be in a season of grief this Mother's Day week, and they're like, I've lost my mom, or the person who is a mother figure in my life, and they're feeling really stuck in these moments, what would you say to them?
Oh, that's so good. I would say to them, I know and I empathize. I know the depth of loss that this time of the year can definitely re-traumatize in you. I know that it feels like you have become detached from your foundation. But as people of faith, we know that death is not the end. We know that we have a loving Father who is the ultimate parent, the ultimate comforter, and that joy will return. If you open up your heart, if you open up your spirit and allow it to, it can and will return. And the person that you lost just physically, because we know death is not the end, wants you to have that joy returned.
Jess, that is such a good word of encouragement. Thank you so much for sharing your journey with us today, talking about your faith experience in the midst of all of that grief, and just really celebrating your mom Elizabeth's memory and talking about Mama Africa and that word of encouragement for our viewers. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for helping me keep her memory alive and allowing others to see that parental mortality, although it is very real to a lot of us as we age, we can recover from it, and we know we have a Father who is the ultimate resurrector of joy and peace.
Amen, amen. A resurrector of joy and peace and our bodies. You know, there's something so powerful when we understand that life can continue to bear fruit even after loss. And Jessica's story reminds us that grief is not the end of the story, and it's not a sign that God has stepped away from us, that even in the middle of heartbreak, we can be held by him, that God is faithful, loving, and present. And maybe today you're carrying your own questions, your own grief or disappointments. And we want to just share with you in this moment, you don't have to have it all figured out. You don't have to carry it alone. You can turn to Jesus and ask him to carry your burdens and to carry you through this season. Stay with us. So much more to come.
Before God spoke into the world, it was a vast darkness, a void space, empty and lifeless. Then he started to create his amazing masterpiece, painting a beautiful world, filling it with stunning creation. When it was done, he sat back and rested. He knew his creation was good. He knew it was meant to be shared together. So he created us in his image, the image of creativity, uniquely designed. His fingerprints all over us. And here we are. We are a glimmer of hope, creating like our Creator. Together, we paint the bright colors of hope and life. Together, we share the real stories of redemption and grace. Together, we are the light that shines spectacularly. Together, we inspire. We don't just live in his stunning creation, we are his stunning creation. We are active tools infused by our Creator to share his creative love to those around us, drawing them to their Creator. Together, we inspire.
In a world that feels uncertain, where do you anchor your hope? At Crossroads, we're committed to sharing the hope of Jesus through media and prayer. And when you give in support of this ministry, we want to thank you with a powerful new resource. The King is Coming by New York Times bestselling author John Bevere.
Knowing and keeping before us the fact that Jesus can return any moment, his return is imminent, keeps us urgent.
This scripture-based teaching will help you live with confident hope, grounded in God's Word and focused on what truly lasts.
For the second coming of Jesus to really have impact, we've got to look at this master plan that God actually came up with from the foundations of the world.
When you give $100 or more, you can request the complete The King is Coming bundle, including the book, study guide, and streaming video series. Give today at crossroads.ca/king or call 1-800-265-3100.
Well, you know, The King is Coming. This book by John Bevere is an invitation to understanding Jesus in a new way in your day-to-day, and I can't wait to apply it to my life more, because really, when we anticipate the coming of Jesus, this is like a love story. It's a relationship of love. And so you get this book, you get this Bible teaching, Bible study book, and you can go deeper into the teachings, and as well as some downloadable videos. And so we want to get that to you. Call 1-800-265-3100. Go to crossroads.ca/king. And for your best ministry gift, or $100 more, please join us on this journey, because I know we're going to be studying
Yes,
this,
I'm definitely going to be in it. So you got to keep me accountable, Laura.
I am. And I'm going to keep you accountable for something else right now, too. You know? Because your beautiful wife, Jess, is here.
Yep.
And we have
the boss is here.
The boss. I love that. That's so sweet. And we have the most wonderful display in front of us. So tell us what we're looking at here, because I know you're going to be making something for Jess.
Yes, myself and the family, the whole team.
Be doing crafts?
And the whole team, all the girls. So there's a lot of different things. We talked about it at the top of the program, how there's so many things at home that could be utilized, inexpensive items that you already have at home, like these jars and ribbons and sticks. And what you can do are simple things like getting some stickers, perhaps.
I knew
and
it.
if you have young ones and you know how they like playing with stickers, Jess.
I love a sticker.
So you can put stickers all over the place. And also, if you have older ones, why don't you utilize a marker and put some meaningful things that you believe, that you know about the mom and the mother in the house, and how they would feel about it as well.
Yeah. Put away laundry.
She's looking at chores and tasks, and I know he's like, we're going to say, you're beautiful, Mom, you're so kind, and you hug us. And she's like, cook breakfast, and then she wants to pull that stick out. So, Jess, what are some of the things you want on there?
Oh, as you said, Laura, chores. I love acts of service for me. Words of affirmation are nice. Yeah, I love you're beautiful. Proverbs 31 woman, all that. But you know what I love more? Dishes clean.
A clean counter. Clean counter. That's a good one.
Clean counter.
We got to get Enoch.
Packing your lunch the night before.
That's right. We can use one of these like Princess Disney stickers.
Oh, I love that.
And then it's like, if he's got this on there, it's like, pull it out, treat her like a princess.
Yes.
Doesn't have to do anything today.
Yeah, princess treatment for the day. I like that.
That's right. I've
Elsa and Anna vibes. Yeah, there you
But
go.
he's writing something lovely.
Oh, that's beautiful.
So I don't want to interrupt. Let us, we want to know what his word's about.
To all the fathers out there, too, I'm getting in the game. You need to get off the bench and do the same as well with the kids.
What does that say, Enoch?
Oh, well, it says beautiful.
Okay.
Yes, and then it says clean counters and dishes, and of course we love you.
Oh, that is so sweet.
Sounds like a great Mother's Day for many moms. Clean counters, dishes, and love.
I know. What more could you ask for?
So what else do we have on the table, Laura?
This beautiful craft.
Ooh.
So this is so sweet. It's a flower. You can make it out of construction paper. It's very simple. You can glue it together. But here it's got, God is within her, she will not fail, an amazing Bible verse. And then going around, it's what we love about our moms. Isn't that so sweet? Or our spiritual moms, or those who are there for us. Maybe it's a grandma. So Taco Tuesday. Oh, yeah. I like this birthday breakfast. I see a theme
gotta
here.
include the food in there.
Is it a food theme?
It is a food and acts of service theme.
Okay. So, Jess, what else do we? I see something way over there.
I see something way over there. My
this
favorite,
is really
some chocolates. This is good. This is an
Nice
easy
little
one.
container to hold it, of course, like you mentioned, some chocolate.
Some chocolate.
And you don't have to just necessarily print it out, but you can also decorate it together.
Yes, you can put some stickers on it.
Absolutely.
And I see a photo of me and my boys, and this is a surprise.
Oh, this is so
from
pretty.
the team. So this is my Mother's Day gift.
your boys are
And my husband.
Yeah.
This is a really cute
That's
picture.
so cute. Oh my goodness.
All right. Now, there's another idea here, and that would be these wonderful bookmarks.
I love that idea.
Yeah.
I love that you could even color on them or draw on them. You don't even have to necessarily print anything out.
No, and you can write a nice Bible verse, whatever is on your heart to share with the mom that you love. Okay, so moms that we love. Enoch, what do you love about Jess? No pressure. I know you're on national television. But as a mom, what do you love about her?
Oh my goodness, there's so many things. I don't think we have enough time for me to get through it. But when you talk about Jess being a mom, I mean, she is so loving, so caring. The way that she interacts with her kids, with her daughters, and her conversations, she's so patient with them. I can really go on forever about this, but she is an amazing mother, and I I'm so grateful to have her.
Oh, that is so sweet. Happy Mother's Day to Jess.
Thank you so
Jess.
much.
Okay, we're gonna do some more crafts?
Absolutely.
You can write some of those
How am I
things.
doing though so
Absolutely.
far?
Oh, that's really good.
You know
I
what?
really like that.
Look at that, right? You like the little bow there?
Nice. That's
Yes,
nice.
this is
I'm
gorgeous.
gonna make a craft, I think, for some of
Thank
the.
you so much.
Yeah, I'll start drawing.
I'm going to do art. I wasn't much of an artist in high school.
No.
Yeah, I
This would
actually
be for
almost
the-
failed art. But you know what?
Really?
I have young kids, so
Okay, well,
they're not going to
make that.
really
You can draw stick figures.
Yeah.
Make it work.
They have low standards.
Thank you for your ongoing support of Crossroads, a supporter-funded nonprofit organization and member of the Canadian Centre for Christian Charities. Thanks to faithful people like you, we are able to continue producing 100 Huntley Street. You can write to Crossroads, P.O. Box 5100, Burlington, Ontario, L7R4M2, or visit crossroads.ca to learn more about our programs.